Hi guys, welcome back to James and the Giant Peach. When we finished our story yesterday, the rain had come in that giant waterfall and it had almost drowned everybody, but one person or one creature on the peach was happy. Remember who it was? It was the centipede because all the paint got washed off him and he was singing and dancing by the end, very happy. And the earthworm was miserable because the earthworm doesn't like the centipede and he really wanted the centipede to be uncomfortable. Anyway, we're starting today with chapter 31. How fast are we going all of a sudden? The ladybug said. I wonder why. I don't think the seagulls like this place any better than we do, James answered. I imagine they want to get out of it as soon as they can. They got a bad fright in the storm that we just passed through. Faster and faster flew the seagulls, skimming across the sky at a tremendous pace, with the peach trailing out behind them. Cloud after cloud went by, all of them ghostly white in the moonlight. And several more times during the night, the travelers caught glimpses of cloudmen moving around on tops of the clouds, working their sinister magic on the world below. Once, they passed a snow machine in operation, with the cloudmen turning the handle and a blizzard of snowflakes blowing out of the great furnace above. Great funnel above. They saw huge drums that were used for making thunder, and the cloudmen beating them furiously with long hammers. They saw the frost factories and the wind producers, and the places where cyclones and tornadoes were manufactured and sent spinning down to the earth. And once, deep in the hollow of a large billowy cloud, they spotted something that could have only been a cloudman's city. There were caves everywhere, running into the cloud, and at the entrance to the caves, the cloudmen's wives were crouching over little stoves with frying pans in their hands and frying up snowballs for their husbands' suppers. And hundreds of cloudmen's children were frisking about all over the place and shrieking with laughter and sliding down on the billows of the cloud on toboggans. An hour later, just before dawn, the travelers heard a soft whooshing noise above their heads, and they glanced up and they saw an immense gray bat-like creature swooping down toward them in the dark. It circled around and around the peach, flapping its great wings slowly in the moonlight and staring at the travelers. Then it uttered a series of long, deep, melancholy cries and flew off again into the night. Oh, I do wish morning would come, Miss Spider said, shivering all over. It won't be long now, James answered. Look, it's getting lighter over there already. They all sat in silence, watching the sun as it came up slowly over the rim of the horizon for a new day. I want to show you the picture of the bat-like creature. So you can see the bat, it's really big, and you see the peach. You see all that? There's the peach right there. There's the bat right there. See how big the bat is compared to the peach? So big. Chapter 32. And when full daylight came at last, they all got to their feet and stretched their poor cramped bodies, and then the centipede, who always seemed to see things first, shouted, Look! There's land below! He's right, they cried, running to the edge of the peach and peering over. Hooray! Hooray! It looks like streets and houses. But how enormous it all is! A vast city, glistening in the early morning sunshine, lay spread out 3,000 feet below them. At that height, the cars were like little beetles crawling along the streets, and people walking on the pavements looked no larger than tiny grains of soot. "But what tremendous tall buildings!" exclaimed the ladybug. "I've never seen anything like them before in England. Which town do you think this is?" "This couldn't possibly be England," said the old green grasshopper. "Then where is it?" asked Miss Spider. "You know those buildings over there? You know what they are?" shouted James, jumping up and down with excitement. "Those are skyscrapers! So this must be America! And that, my friends, means that we have crossed the Atlantic Ocean overnight." "You don't mean it," they cried. "It's not possible. It's incredible. It's unbelievable." "Oh, I've always dreamed of going to America," cried the centipede. "I had a friend once who—" "Be quiet," said the earthworm. "Who cares about your friend? The thing we've got to think about now is, how on earth are we going to get down there to the earth?" "Ask James," said the ladybug. "I don't think it should be so very difficult," James told them. "All we have to do is cut loose a few of the seagulls. Not too many, mind you, but just enough so the others can't quite keep us up in the air. And then down we shall go, slowly and gently, until we reach the ground. Centipede will bite through the strings for us one at a time." Chapter 33. Far below them, in the city of New York, something like pandemonium was breaking out. A great round ball, as big as a house, had been sighted hovering high above the sky over the very center of Manhattan, and the cry had gone up that it was an enormous bomb sent over by another country to blow up the whole city to smithereens. It was the beach. All radio and television programs were interrupted with announcements that the population must go down to their cellars, that's like their basement, immediately. 1 million people walking in the streets on their way to work looked up into the sky and saw the monster hovering above them. It was the beach. And started running for the nearest subway entrance to take cover. Generals grabbed hold of telephones and shouted orders to everyone they could think of. The mayor of New York called up the president of the United States down in Washington, D.C., to ask him for help. And the president, who at that moment was having breakfast in his pajamas, quickly pushed away his half-finished plate of sugar crisps and started pressing buttons right and left so he could summon his admirals and his generals. And all the way across the vast stretch of America, in all the 50 states, from Alaska to Florida, from Pennsylvania to Hawaii, the alarm was sounded and the word went out that the biggest bomb in the history of the world was hovering over New York City, and any moment it might go off. Let me show you the picture. This is from the perspective of being down low, down here, and you can see the people looking up to the beach, way up high. And to them, it looks like a big bomb. Chapter 34. These are very short chapters. "Come on, centipede, bite through the first string," James ordered. The centipede took one of the silk strings between his teeth and bit through it. And once again, but not with an angry cloudman dangling from the end of the string this time, a single seagull came away from the rest of the flock and went flying off on its own. "Bite another," James ordered. The centipede bit through another string. "Why aren't we sinking?" "We are sinking." "No, we're not." "Don't forget, the peach is a lot lighter now than when we started out," James told them. "It lost an awful lot of juice when all those hailstones hit it. Cut away 2 more seagulls, centipede." "Ah, that's better. Here we go. Now we really are sinking." "Yes, this is perfect. Don't bite any more, centipede, or we'll sink too fast. Gently does it." Slowly, the great peach began losing height, and the buildings and streets down below began coming closer and closer and closer. "Do you think we'll get our picture in the newspaper when we get down?" said the ladybug. "My goodness, I've forgotten to polish all my boots," said the centipede. "Everyone must quickly help me polish all my boots before we arrive." "Ugh, for heaven's sake," said the earthworm, "can't you ever stop thinking about—" But before he could finish his sentence, suddenly, whoosh! They looked up and saw a huge four-engine plane coming straight out of a nearby cloud, and it went whizzing past them, not 20 feet above their heads. This was actually the regular early morning passenger plane coming to New York from Chicago. And as it went by, it sliced through every single one of the silken strings. And immediately the seagulls broke away and started flying off. And the enormous peach, having nothing to hold it up in the air, went tumbling down towards the earth like a lump of lead. "Help!" cried the centipede. "Save us!" cried Miss Spider. "We are lost!" cried the ladybug. "This is the end," said the old green grasshopper. "James!" cried the earthworm. "Do something, James! Quickly, do something!" "I can't," said James. "I'm sorry. Goodbye. Shut your eyes, everybody. It won't be long now." I think we'll stop there for today. See you tomorrow.